looks like I'm going to be watching a few more movies in Canada. Hey everybody, welcome to Mainly Movies. Today I'm going to be talking about my 10 most anticipated movies of this year's Toronto International Film Festival. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for a variety of movie-related content, like reviews, rank lists, and trailer reactions. As many of you already know, I received press accreditation for the Toronto International Film Festival again this year. This will be my third year covering the festival, and my second time attending in person, and I can't wait to head back up to Canada for some more movies. In fact, when this video publishes, I'll actually already be on the train to Toronto. There are a ton of films I'm excited for this year, so I'm going to talk about my 10 most anticipated TIFF 23 movies, and then share with you an extra 20 or so that I also hope to watch. So I'm hoping to see as many of these as I can while I'm up in Toronto. And others. It's definitely been tough to narrow down my watch list. With the way the schedule works out, there's a chance I won't have the opportunity to see all of these during the festival, but I'll be bringing you reviews of the ones I do get to see over the coming weeks and months. I'm not even going to try to rank these by anticipation, so we're just going to go through the list alphabetically. First up is Anatomy of a Fall, directed by Justine Triet. So this one's a French thriller and courtroom drama that actually won the Palme d'Or at Cannes this year. It focuses on a writer whose husband mysteriously dies. It's not exactly clear whether his death was an accident, a suicide, or a murder, and with their blind son as the only witness, the writer's arrested for her husband's murder and has to try to prove her innocence. I'm a fan of crime thrillers and of courtroom dramas and police procedurals, so I think this one's probably going to be up my alley. And with the name being an obvious reference to Otto Preminger's Anatomy of a Murder, which is another movie I really enjoy, I have high hopes for this one. Next is Concrete Utopia, directed by Tae-hwa. This one's a South Korean disaster thriller and has actually already been picked as South Korea's entry for Best International Feature Film for the upcoming Oscars, which bodes well for this one being good, I'd say. In this thriller, an earthquake levels most of Seoul, and only one apartment building is left standing. Survivors of the disaster start to show up at this building, but eventually scarce resources force the apartment's residents to turn the outsiders away, causing even more chaos than there already was. I like the idea of this premise, and the prospect of a social commentary wrapped up within a disaster movie is something that's pretty intriguing to me. Continuing on is Fingernails, directed by Christos Nico. This is a futuristic sci-fi romance set in a world where fingernail-based DNA love tests can determine whether or not people are truly in love. Starring Jessie Buckley and Riz Ahmed, this film is about a woman who doesn't exactly trust the love test results she's received, but then goes on to get a job at this love institute to understand the basis of the test, but finds herself connecting with a coworker much more than she does with her supposed true love. It sounds a little weird, but I like a good high-concept sci-fi film, and I also like the actors involved, so I'm curious to check this one out. Next up is Gonzo Girl, directed by Patricia Arquette as her directorial debut. This one stars Camilla Moroni, William Dafoe, and Patricia Arquette, and is a drama based on a book by Cheryl Della Pietra about her time as an assistant for Gonzo journalist Hunter S. Thompson. Set in the early 90s, it tells the story of an assistant to fictional Gonzo journalist Walker Reed, after she's hired to get him back on track with writing his novel, only to find herself writing something of her own. I'm not entirely sure what to expect with this one, because I think it could go several different ways, especially given the style at the heart of the subject matter, but it's one that I think could be interesting and unique. Next is The Holdovers, directed by Alexander Payne. Set in 1971, this comedy drama starring Paul Giamatti and Divine Joy Randolph tells the story of a professor at a boarding school who's tasked with staying at the school over winter break to watch the students who have nowhere to go. Starting off a bit antagonistically, he and the so-called holdovers have some issues, but eventually start to see the things they have in common. Alexander Payne movies are always a bit hit or miss for me, but a period piece about a teacher seems like one that might be more of a hit. It's interesting to see Payne return to a school-based comedy drama so many years after Election, so I'm looking forward to this one. Continuing on, we've got Lee, directed by Ellen Kuras. Starring Kate Winslet, this is a biographical drama about Lee Miller, who began her career as a fashion model and eventually became a photographer for Vogue. After World War II broke out, she went on assignment as a war correspondent and photojournalist. So hers is a name that I've heard, but I know nothing about her story. And I have to say, it sounds really interesting and ripe for a biopic. I'm not sure whether or not this is going to primarily focus on her time as a correspondent in World War II, or if it's going to be a broader look at her entire life, but this is one of the films I'm probably most excited for at TIFF this year. Up next is Next Goal Wins, directed by Taika Waititi. This was the first film announced for this year's TIFF, and is a biographical sports comedy drama starring Michael Fassbender and Elizabeth Moss. Based on a true story and a documentary of the same name, it tells the story of the record-losing American Samoa soccer team as they attempted to make the 2014 FIFA World Cup. I'm not a huge soccer fan, but I am an underdog story fan, so I think this one could be pretty fun. With his last TIFF premiered film, Jojo Rabbit, Taika Waititi showed that he had a knack for combining heart and humor, so I'm hoping this has a decent balance of the two as well. Moving along, we've got Pool Man, directed by Chris Pine as his directorial debut. This is a comedy mystery starring Chris Pine as a pool cleaner who uncovers a conspiracy. Also starring Jennifer Jason Leigh, Annette Bening, and Danny DeVito, it sounds like this is going to be an intriguing noir-influenced story, taking inspiration from films like Chinatown, but setting the story in a brighter, more comedic world. One of a number of actor-directed films at TIFF this year, I think this story has a lot of potential, and I'm curious to see if it pans out. Continuing on is Quiz Lady, directed by Jessica Yu. This comedy stars Awkwafina and Sandra Oh as a pair of sisters who find themselves in a difficult situation after their mother racks up gambling debts. In order to save their mother and Awkwafina's beloved dog, the pair set off to earn the money. Luckily, Awkwafina's character is obsessed with a trivia game show, and they endeavor to help her become a contestant in order to raise the money. This is one of those films that sounds like it could either be really funny or really not funny, but I always try to stick at least a few comedies into my festival lineup, because most of the festival films tend to be a bit heavy. Rounding things out, and sticking with the game show theme, we've got Woman of the Hour, directed by Anna Kendrick, as her directorial debut. Based on an unbelievable true story, and set in 1978, it stars Kendrick as a contestant on The Dating Game, who unknowingly finds herself on the same episode as serial killer Rodney Alcala. This is one of those stories that would sound way too far-fetched if it wasn't actually true. I like fellow Mainer Anna Kendrick, and I'm really intrigued by this premise, so I'm excited to check this one out. So those are my top 10, but like I said at the beginning of the video, I have more than a few bonus movies that I want to very briefly mention. I'm not going to go into any details on these extra ones right now, but in alphabetical order, I hope to also see A Normal Family, The Beast, The Boy and the Heron, Dream Scenario, Dumb Money, Hell of a Summer, Hitman, Humanist Vampire Seeks Consenting Suicidal Person, Kill, Monster, The Movie Emperor, The Movie Teller, Naiad, Pain Hustlers, Reptile, Sleep, Valentina or the Serenity, Wicked Little Letters, When Evil Lurks, and The Zone of Interest. Alright, so there you have it, 10 of my most anticipated movies of TIFF 23, with a few extra thrown in for good measure. Which TIFF films are you looking forward to this year? Which ones would you like to see me review? Be sure to post your own picks and thoughts in the comments below. Remember, I'll be reviewing as many of these movies as I can, so be on the lookout for those videos for some more in-depth discussion of each, as well as my ratings, pros and cons, and even tailored film recommendations. Alright, so if you got some enjoyment, insight, or information out of this TIFF list, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe if you're on it to see more videos like this, as well as movie reviews. Till next time, this has been Alyssa with Mainly Movies, the way life should be.